Hello everyone, welcome to the Entry app. Today we are going to do 27th June current affairs. These have been compiled by me Bhavna from different important news sources such as the Indian Express, the Hindu, PIB and all the other important news sources. All these current affairs are quite important from the point of view of all the single day competitive entrance examination. So guys, this is an overview of today's session. We are going to start with the national news and COVID-19 related news. Then we'll be going on to the important states related news. It would be followed by international news, followed by economy, business and banking, and in the last we are going to do the important international days and events. Let's start with the important national news. The first news of the day is Dr. Harshvardhan, who is the Union Minister of Health and Family Welfare in India, has launched e-blood services mobile app. So the e-blood services app is a mobile application of the Indian Red Cross Society. This has been developed by the e-Rakt Kosh team of the Center for Development of Advanced Computing under the Digital India scheme launched by Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi in 2015. So once the request is placed to the app, the requisite units become visible to the IRCS, which is the Indian Red Cross Society Blood Bank, in its e-Rakt Kosh dashboard, and this allows assured delivery within the specified time. So this mobile application would enable people to access blood safely and in fact save blood easily, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. Also, it will bring transparency and facilitate single window access to the blood services offered by the Indian Red Cross Society. The important questions that can be formed from this news is, so yeah, one important fact that the Union Health Minister is also the chairman of the Indian Red Cross Society. Now coming to the important questions related to this news. So who has launched the blood services mobile app? E-blood services mobile app is related to which of the following organization? Who is the chairman of the Indian Red Cross Society? Which of the following has developed the e-blood services mobile app? Who is the Union Health Minister of India? The next news is about the Khadi and Village Industries Commission. So KVIC has launched sandalwood and bamboo plantation. It is a first of its kind initiative in which it has started exploring the untapped but highly profitable venture of sandalwood and bamboo tree plantation for monetization of its assets. So KVIC has begun a drive with plantation of 500 saplings, each of sandalwood and bamboo at its Nashik training center, which is spread across 262 acres of land. It has procured sandalwood saplings from the Fragrance and Flavor Development Center, Kannauj, which is a unit of MSME in the Uttar Pradesh, and bamboo saplings have been procured from Assam. So basis the data provided by KVIC, it is expecting to fetch almost rupees 50 crores to 60 crores in 10 to 15 years after planting of these 500 saplings. So the data says that a sandalwood tree matures in 10 to 15 years and as per the current rate and sells at rupees 10 lakh to 12 lakh. So sandalwood and its oil have demand in countries like China, Japan, Taiwan, Australia and the USA. However, there's a lot of short supply of sandalwood, and this provides a lot of opportunity to India to explore this sector. And if we talk about bamboo, so each bamboo plant after the third year produces minimum of 5 logs, and thereafter the production of bamboo logs doubles every year. So this means 500 bamboo saplings would provide at least 2500 bamboo logs in third year, and this would lead to generation of an additional income of approximately 3.25 lakh at the Nashik center, where KVIC has planted these trees. Bamboo would be in turn used as raw material for the manufacturing of agarbatti, and this agarbatti manufacturing would in turn lead to a large scale employment. Now, quickly looking at the questions that can be formed from this news could be that which of the following trees plantation has been started by KVIC? Expand KVIC, and where has KVIC started with the plantation of sandalwood and bamboo? That is Nashik. Some quick facts about KVIC. So KVIC is Khadi and Village Industries Commission. It is an apex organization under the Union Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises. Its head office is in Mumbai, and the Union MSME Minister is Mr. Nitin Gadkari. The next news is an important news. Niti Aayog, in partnership with Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which is also known as BMGF, Center for Social and Behavioral Change in Ashoka University, and the Ministries of Health and Women and Child Development has launched a behavior change campaign called Navigating the New Normal and its website. So this campaign basically focuses on COVID safe behaviors, especially wearing masks during the unlock phase of ongoing pandemic. So this complete campaign was developed under the guidance of Empowered Group 6 on COVID-19, which was constituted by the central government. It is headed by the CEO of Niti Aayog, Mr. Amitabh Kant. The campaign has two parts: a web portal which contains resources informed by behavioral science and the use of nudge and social norms theory related to COVID safe behavioral norms during the ongoing unlock phase. And the second is a media campaign focused on wearing of masks. So this portal focuses on easy implementation of four key behaviors in the unlock phase, and these behaviors are mask wearing, social distancing, hand hygiene, and not spitting in public. The important questions from this news could be: which of the following has launched the new campaign Navigating the New Normal? Who among the following is heading the Empowered Group 6 on COVID-19? How many behaviors are a part of the Navigating the New Normal campaign? The next news is that Devika and Puneja bridges have been inaugurated in Jammu and Kashmir. So the Union Minister, Mr. Jitendra Singh, has inaugurated these two bridges, Devika and Puneja, at Udhampur and Doda districts respectively in Jammu and Kashmir. Both the bridges were completed by Border Roads Organization. The Devika bridge is 10-meter long and it was completed in 15 months and constructed to resolve the traffic issues of the region, and also it will help in smooth passage of army convoys and vehicles. The Puneja bridge is 50-meter long and was completed in 36 months. It will provide a vital alternate link to Doda, Kishtwar and Ramban districts beside Kashmir Valley from Pathankot without entering Jammu and Udhampur via Lakhanpur. Also, Doda is the only district in the country where not one but three big tunnels are being built. So the important questions from this news could be: who among the following has inaugurated the Devika and Puneja bridges? Where are the Devika and Puneja bridges situated? Probably what is the length of the Devika bridge or what is the length of the Puneka bridge? And which of the following has recently completed with the construction of Devika and Puneja bridges? Some quick facts about Border Roads Organization, which is also referred as BRO. It develops and maintains road networks in India's border areas and friendly neighboring countries. It is headquartered in New Delhi, and the Director General is Lieutenant General Harpal Singh, and it functions under the Ministry of Defense. The Union Defense Minister is Mr. Rajnath Singh. Now let's have a look at the important states related news. So this is an important news that Assam has launched Monon to help COVID-19 patients and those in quarantine. Now, what is this Monon? Monon is a mental health support program that has been launched by Assam government, especially for the COVID patients and the quarantined persons in the state, to provide emotional support, counseling, and treatment. So, in this program, there is a team which comprises 220 psychiatrists, clinical psychologists, psychiatric social workers, and trained voluntary counselors. The team is led by Dr. Maithili Hazarika, who is an associate professor of clinical psychology at Guwahati Medical College and Hospital. So this is a unique kind of program where mental health professors are calling those who might need help instead of waiting for them to call them. The important questions related to this news could be: which Indian state has launched the Monon program, or the Monon program in Assam is related to which of the following, or Monon program has been has been launched by which Indian state. The next news is Andhra Pradesh CM Jagan Reddy has launched a scheme to benefit 15,000 women of Kapu community. So this was one of his pre-poll promises. Under the scheme, financial assistance of rupees 15,000 would be provided to women belonging to Kapu community, and especially the age group of 45 to 60 years. So in a period of 5 years, these eligible women would be getting a total of rupees 75,000 from the state government. The important questions related to this news could be: which state has recently launched a scheme to benefit women of Kapu community? What would be the monetary benefits that would be provided to the women of Kapu community under the scheme launched by the Andhra Pradesh government? Also, what would be the which communities, which specific community would be benefited and provided financial assistance of rupees 15,000 by the Andhra Pradesh government. The next one is a very interesting news actually. So Karnataka based dairy brand Dairy Day has launched two new range of ice cream flavors, Haldi and Chavanprash, which help to boost immunity. So the two new ice cream flavors are supposed to have goodness of amla, honey and dates. So amid this COVID-19 pandemic, so people have been talking about healthier lifestyles, and a lot of companies are talking about manufacturing and consuming healthy food, and this is a step in that direction only. The important question from this news could be, which are the two new ice cream flavors that has been launched by Dairy Day, or which state has recently launched, which state's dairy brand has recently launched two new range of ice cream flavors, which include Haldi and Chavanprash. The next news is about Tripura. So Tripura has announced a scheme by the name Mukhyamantri Matru Pushti Upahar scheme. So this is a scheme in an effort to combat infant and maternal mortality and malnutrition. It's an ambitious scheme under which nutrition kits would be provided to pregnant and lactating women. Pregnant women would be tested 4 times in nearby primary health centers and be given a nutrition kit after each test as per the Matru Pushti Upahar scheme. The kit would cost rupees 500 and would have essential food items and grocery supplies such as peanuts, soya beans, mixed pulses, jaggery, and ghee. Now let's quickly have a look at the important questions that can be framed from this news. So the first question would be, Mukhyamantri Matru Pushti Upahar scheme has been launched by which state? The second question could be, with this scheme, Mukhyamantri Matru Pushti Upahar is related to which of the following? The next question could be, Tripura has recently launched a scheme which is intending to combat infant and maternal mortality and malnutrition. What is the name of the scheme? Now we'll be covering the important international news. The first important international news is that the Vivekanand University, which is the world's first yoga university outside India, was launched in Los Angeles. So this launch was a part of the 6th International Yoga Day, and the International Yoga Day is observed on 21st of June. So this is the world's first yoga university outside India. This university would offer programs that combine scientific principles and modern research approaches to the ancient Indian practice of yoga. Eminent Indian yoga guru Dr. H.R. Nagendra would be the first chairman of Vayu. Dr. H.R. Nagendra is also the chancellor of Swami Vivekanand Yoga Anusandhan Samastha, which is India's and world's first yoga university. It is a deemed university situated in Bangalore, Karnataka. So the important questions from this news could be, expand Vayu. Who would be the chairman? Who would be the first chairman of Vayu? Where is the world's and India's first yoga university situated? Where is the world's first yoga university outside India situated? The next news is that the foundation stone for the first Hindu temple in Pakistan capital Islamabad has been laid. So Pakistan has started the construction process of a rupees 10 crore Hindu temple. It is the first Hindu temple in Islamabad. So this temple will be known as the Krishna temple. It will come up in 20,000 square feet plot at its capital H9 area. So the Islamabad Hindu Panchayat has named this temple as Shri Krishna Mandir. And this plot for temple was allotted to the Hindu Panchayat by the Capital Development Authority in 2017. However, the construction work was delayed due to some formalities. So the important questions from this news could be, where has been the foundation stone for the first Hindu temple laid in Pakistan? Or what is the name of the first Hindu temple that would be constructed in Pakistan's capital Islamabad? Now we'll be covering the important economy, banking and business related news. The first news in this section is that e-com firms, which are the Amazon and Flipkart and all these online portals, have been told that buyers need to know the country of origin of goods. So the Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade has directed e-commerce firms to work out a mechanism which will enable customers to identify the country of origin for all the products displayed on their platforms. So this development has come against the backdrop of the border face-off with China and the central government pushing through for self-reliance through its Atmanirbhar Bharat campaign. It also follows the Commerce Ministry's announcement that sellers on the government's e-market portal, which is the government's e-marketplace, which is GEM portal, will have to disclose the country of origin for the products. So DPIIT is the central government department which functions under the Ministry of Commerce and industry, and the minister responsible for this is Mr. Piyush Goyal. The important question from this news could be, which of the following has directed e-commerce firms to work out a mechanism that will enable customers to identify country of origin for all products displayed on the platforms, and what is the name of the government's e-marketplace, and who is the Union Commerce Minister? The next important news is that government has brought cooperative banks under the RBI for better regulation. So in order to protect depositors' interest, the government has approved an ordinance to bring all the urban and multi-state cooperative banks under the direct supervision of the Reserve Bank of India. This would empower RBI to regulate these on the lines of commercial banks. So currently, these banks come under dual regulation of RBI and Registrar of Cooperative Societies, which results in regulatory and supervisory lapses at many places. According to the data provided by the government, there are almost 1482 urban cooperative banks and 58 state cooperative banks which have been directly brought under the supervisory power of RBI. So the important questions from this news could be, which of the following would be regulating the cooperative banks? And this decision was taken in the backdrop of RBI imposing restrictions on deposit withdrawal at the Punjab and Maharashtra cooperative banks and many other cooperative banks failing in recent periods. So an amount that government says is approximately 8.6 crores. That is the amount which depositors have kept safe under these cooperative banks, and getting these banks under the supervision of RBI would ensure that this money is safe. And the RBI is the central bank of the country and its headquarters are in Mumbai. The current governor is Shaktikant Das. The next news is Bangalore's International Airport has become the first airport in India with new technology at both ends of runway. So Bangalore's International Airport is also known as Kempe Gowda International Airport. So it has got aviation weather monitoring system for the first time in India. It is the first airport in India to have this technology installed at both ends of the runway. So this aviation weather monitoring system has been developed by Bangalore-based CSIR National Aerospace Laboratories. Apart from this, the airport has also installed 4 Drishti transmissometers, which is expected to help in measuring the runway visibility range. So there could be a direct question that could be asked from this news, which is the first international airport in India to have an aviation weather monitoring system at both ends of the runway. Now we'll be doing the important reports and index. So we'll be discussing the annual TB report 2020, which has been released by Dr. Harshvardhan. Dr. Harshvardhan is the Union Minister for Health and Family Welfare. And this report has been prepared by the Central TB Division of Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. So for the first time, it has introduced a quarterly ranking on TB elimination efforts by all states and UTs. So this report discloses that around 24.04 lakh TB patients were seen in 2019, which is a 14% increase as compared to the year 2018. It also mentions that the program has been renamed. So the program we are talking over here is about the TB Elimination and Control Program of India, which was earlier known as Revised National Tuberculosis Control Program. It is now named as National Tuberculosis Elimination Program, under which India aims to end TB by 2025. This is 5 years ahead of the global target. So the report states that in the categories of largest states with more than 50 lakh population, Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh and Himachal Pradesh are the best performing states. For the category of smaller states which have population less than 50 lakh, Tripura and Nagaland were awarded. And in the category of Union Territory, Dadra, Nagar and Haveli, Daman and Diu were chosen as the best performers. So the important questions from this news would be about the categories of state which have been chosen as the best performers, and about the Union Territory also who is the Union Health Minister of India, which is the year that India has set for elimination of TB completely, what is the new name of India's revised TB program, and who is the Union Health Minister of India, and who has released the annual TB 2020 report of India. So now we've arrived at the last section of the session, that is the important days and events. So 27th June is observed as the Micro, Small and Medium Sized Enterprises Day. So, according to the data provided by the International Council for Small Business, formal and informal MSMEs make up over 90% of all firms and account on an average for 70% of total employment and 50% of GDP. So, that is why UNGA had declared 27th June as MSME Day in order to raise public awareness for their contribution to the sustainable development and the global economy. With this, we have come to the end of today's session. Guys, I hope you are able to understand the current affairs. And if you like the session, do not forget to give a thumbs up to this session. And please mention your valuable feedback in the comment section. Thank you for listening and take care.